Hello, this is Ian. Ian's POV. Now, I said yesterday that the RAF in Cyprus had done around about 100 hours of defence against the missiles and drones in Cyprus. This was misleading. I got it wrong. The new figure that's out is 1,600 hours. Okay, now, they haven't told us how many drones or missiles heading for Cyprus that they've actually hit. But we've also learnt that the defences of Cyprus have been down to the Italians, the French, and somebody said even the Turks are helping us. Oh, and the Greeks. The warship we sent out is now in dock because the water system isn't working. This country is a joke. Through time, if you read history, through time we've had problems. In times of peace, the government reduces the amount of money it spends on the army. It's happened throughout history. And every time that there's a conflict and the government has to spend money and produce men and guns and cannons, it happens. But in today's world, you haven't got months or weeks to sort a problem out. You have days. Back in a mo. That was a wife. She's taken my mobile phone in to have a new battery fitted because it's not keeping a charge. It's 3 years old now? And I charge the battery up in the morning. I gotta admit I use it a little bit. But by lunchtime, I got 5% charge left. Well, normally, it would go through the day and I charge it up at night. Anyway, want a new battery. So we go into the shop last week and we ask the phone shop, and they do repairs, have you got a new battery for a Samsung S23? No, but we'll order one. He ordered one while I was standing there. He ordered an S23 battery. Pat's just gone in just now into the shop. Pat, that's the boss, that's the wife. And they got the wrong battery. And it'll be here tomorrow. So my second mobile phone, which I use for videos and things, I got my mobile, which I use for business, and I got a second mobile, which I use for doing videos, because I can no longer upload the videos off my standard phone, my normal phone, which actually is an S24. But never mind, that's one of those things. Right, back to the story. So we got no ships. Our ship's now in dock because the water system isn't working. A warship's out at sea for months. And it takes salt water in. And it's got takes the salt out of the water and makes it drinkable. Well, if the water system isn't working, then it's got to go in for repair. Well, why wasn't that fixed before they left England? So we're now relying on other countries for our own defence. As I was saying, through time, in times of peace, the country has not spent the money or kept up with the number of people, soldiers and sailors, to defend the country. Through all the major wars that we've been involved in, we've always been lacking before we get there. We've always been playing catch-up. But under the Tories and under Labour now, we're in the worst place I think we have ever been in history. If somebody... we are basically defenceless. This country is defenceless. We got a few aircraft, if they're working. We got 2 aircraft carriers that aren't working at the moment, in for upgrades. We had 2 warships available, Duncan and the Dragon. And they ain't doing the job they're supposed to do. Now, I've been involved with the military. And when you do exercises, you make sure you got all the kit before you go. Your maps, you know what you're doing. I've done exercises with the RAF regiment. I was, 16, 17 at the time? I was in the cadets. But when we went to airfields, we used the same teaching techniques they used down aircraft pilots for escape and evasion. And a couple of guys would play the down pilots. We would have to go and try and find them. And then next time you go, you might be the escape and evasion. You were given a map and a compass and told to go from A to B. The first thing when you're in the middle of nowhere, and we've done it on the Welsh Hills, we've done it in Dartmoor and Exmoor. You are put in the middle of nowhere, and you've got nowhere of knowing where you are. There's no signposts or anything, so you've got to figure out where you are, and you know you're on the map that they've given you. So you look for things. So the first thing they do is put you in the bottom of a valley. So you walk up a hill so you can see as much of the ground as possible. And then you look for landmarks, churches, radio masts, things that you can see standing. And as long as you go up the rise and you can see over the land, you've got a church, and you've got another church. And then the map tells you where it's a church with a steeple or not. You know, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And they teach you to do this. But if we haven't got the men, we're then now not teaching them. And if we're then not teaching them, we haven't got the skills. In business, it's called corporate memory. And you have your reserves, so you've got reserve forces available for when you need them. This country is at its lower level I think it's ever been, relative to what's happened in the past. Now, as you know, I'm a gunman. I know firearms, I know firearms history. We have the National Rifle Association. Now, the National Rifle Association was formed because people were joining the army and did not know how to use firearms. So the idea was that you'd have rifle ranges throughout the country, and you teach people to shoot, so that if the country needed them in time of war, they would already be trained. That's gone out the window. Oh, nobody's allowed to have guns now. I had a training officer here wanted me to fix his shotgun. So anyway, I fixed his shotgun and we're just yakking and talking and having a cup of tea at the workshop as you do. And he says that he's teaching people to shoot. And he's saying when he was what, in his 45, 50, I suppose? Regimental Sergeant Major in charge of musketry was his official title. And his job, if there was a war, would obviously be the men, but he would also be involved in looking after the casualties and the deaths. And they train for that. And he was saying one of the things that they've learned, when he started, kids were shooting anyway. Shotgun, rifle, pistols, because we had pistols and rifle clubs. Now those have been diminished. They've got kids going in the army at 17, 18 now, and they're scared to touch a firearm. They've got to teach them how to use a firearm before they teach them to shoot. That's frightening. This country is not prepared to defend itself. And under Starmer, we had it under the Conservatives' mind. I'm not just going to blame Starmer. But under Starmer, it's gone completely, absolutely bonkers. Oh, Starmer is taking the credit for yesterday's peace deal. You can't, honestly, you can't make this up. He was encouraging Trump to talk. Trump, meanwhile, arranged a peace deal through Pakistan, because Pakistan was the go-between between him and Iran, because the Americans aren't directly talking to Iran. And the Americans, at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, was it, said that they would agree to a ceasefire. And he stopped bombing. They were going to bomb all the infrastructure, the railway lines and the bridges, so that people on the IRGC, that's the Islamic regime, couldn't move about, couldn't do business. So Trump pulled back. Trump called a ceasefire. Now, because the Israelis are fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon, because Hezbollah are a Sunni Muslim extremist group of terrorists who are being funded by Iran, they said it was an attack on them. So Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the IRGC in Iran are all the same. Just different names. They're the Islamic regimes that want to try and control the Middle East and the rest of the world. So Iran sees Israel attacking Hezbollah in Lebanon, decides that the ceasefire hasn't taken place, even though it's nothing to do with them really. They start firing missiles at their neighbours again. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and UEA. Now you can't, Trump didn't break the ceasefire. So that then re-engaged the war again. Starmer's talking about opening the straits of Hamas, which is fair enough. That's what we want. But how can anybody take Starmer seriously? I've seen reports from America, reports from India, reports from Australia, from their news channels that are on YouTube. And Starmer is a joke. They treat him as a joke. Our Prime Minister. I know you might be of a different political persuasion, like I am. And you might have a different opinion. That's fair enough. But you can't be doing what Starmer's doing and get away with it. He has left this country defenseless. This country cannot defend itself. Or we got our priorities wrong. We haven't got the staff to do the job. Oh, time of war, the repairs in the docks in Britain, they only work 9 till 5 and don't work weekends. This is what I'm saying about in time of war, they cut back. Someone has to do a rethink. Someone has to take somebody by the cuff of his neck and say, hang on a minute, mate. You can't do this. This country needs you. That's what they used to say, innit? This country needs you. We need to wake up. We need to get on with it. And Starmer is an embarrassment. The quicker he goes, the better. I think what he ought to do is we got just under a month now before the May elections. He should come back to Britain because he's off in the Middle East now talking to the Saudis. He should come back and he should call a general election and let the people decide. Anyway, this is Ian. Bye-bye for now.